it's Raven. Welcome to the Nest. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be wrapping up paycheck budget number 1 for May 2020, and then I will be going into paycheck budget number 2, 2020, setting that up. So let's go ahead and total this all out and move on. All right, so this is going to be for my paycheck from May 14th, which was my first paycheck of the month. I've already went through, if you saw my mid-month check-in, I kind of let you know how I was doing so far in this paycheck budget. So right now I'm going to be wrapping this one up, and I'll need my calculator, so we're going to leave that handy. Amazon Music did come out. It's budgeted at $108. AT&T $45 as budgeted. So everything was not as budgeted. I originally budgeted $200 for MLG&W, but it actually came out to $150. So I was under budget by $50. So let's go ahead and I really only need to subtract $50 from this because my budgeted total was $572.58. So we're going to subtract $50 from that, which is going to make it y'all, I can't even count, Lord. 522, not 552, 522.58 was my actual total for expenses. $522.58. Debt payments, we already totaled all that out. It was as budgeted at $425, which I just had my legal fees for $225, and then I had my Capital One Auto for $200. Yes, $200. Okay, let's go ahead and flip to the back. Cash envelopes. I actually had $20 left over in my gas cash envelope, so we only spent $60. And I always pay at the register, which is how I always keep my gas cash envelopes kind of to the dollar. That's why there's never any cents, because I always keep it to the dollar, because I actually just go to the register and pay. And I usually put in like either $20 or $30 at a time. It just kind of depends on what I have going on. Pets, we actually maxed pet out, and I was a little bit over budget in pet. I actually spent $91.10 where I originally budgeted $90. Food and groceries, we were over budget for food and groceries. No shocker there. We were over budget at $262.05. Home and personal, I mentioned during my mid-month check-in that I was actually already over budget for these two categories because I was doing some stuff I ain't had no business. So I'm severely over budget for those two areas. So we're going to say home. I actually spent for home, where's that little page? Oh, I actually spent on home $51.12, and then for personal I did $48.19 total. So, and like I said, this, and it wasn't because I'm under budgeting what my expenses would be for home and personal. My expenses for home and personal is very straightforward. I never really have any reason to deviate from that. It's just, like I said, I was doing some stuff I had no business, buying some stuff like, ooh, look at that. Ooh, I ain't had no business doing that. So let's go ahead and calculate that up at 60 plus 91.10 for pet, plus 262.05 for food and groceries, plus 51.12 for home, plus 48.19 for personal. So that brings me to a whopping total of $512.46. So I was actually over budget by, let's see, minus 440. I was over budget by $72.46. Okay, moving forward to sinking funds. I put in my actuals already. So the total that I had in the fund after adding my amounts for this paycheck budget for home, that is budgeted. No, the total in that fund is $5,800. This is the sinking fund that I originally started for like my home purchase, but then I slowly started to realize like, okay, I need to rev this up some kind of way and do something different. So I just started my savings challenges, which are down below. But this is in a sense the home sinking fund that I started like way last year, I think. And I just add $100 every paycheck towards that. car is like for my car maintenance, so I add $10 in that for each paycheck. I may have to start increasing that because my car is getting a little bit older, so it's needing a few more things. But I just recently had some maintenance and all that done on it, well, maybe a couple months ago, and then I just recently had to get a new tire, so I actually depleted that fund down to like $4. We added $10, which brought us up to $14. Vacations, I add $40 a paycheck to vacations. That is just for essentially what it says, vacationing. So the total in the vacation fund after adding my $40 is $1,860. And our actuals is what is budgeted, which was $150. Investments, other savings. This is going to be my stash app as well as my savings challenges. So budgeted for stash was $60, which I put $60 in per paycheck, and I did that. The total in my stash fund as of yesterday, which was Thursday, total in that fund, and I like to do it before because technically today is Friday, which is payday. But my new paycheck budget, not, you know, old paycheck budget. So I'm going by what the total was yesterday before today. So stash was at $2,302.93. That was the total in there. That's been going up and down, fluctuating. I may do a video on that at some point, but that's basically my investments, like my stocks and all of that. And with the way the market has been, I'm sure you all know, it's been up and down, like a yo-yo. So there's that. Savings challenge number 1, I budgeted a total of $287. That is my $1 monthly challenge that I've been doing. And I did actually put in my $287. You will see an update on that on Monday to kind of get more into detail on what that was. But I'll just go ahead and say actual was $287 for savings challenge number 2. That is the weekly amount that I'm saving. Again, you will get an update on that on Monday. So that will be $250. And then the total, I'm just going to write it in together. It's hard for me to keep them separated because I'm doing these challenges in the same account. So it's hard for me to kind of separate like the total in each one. So I'm just going to give you the current total right now, which will be different when I do the update on Monday because we have to factor in today when I add today's amount, Saturday, Sunday, and you know, all that jazz. So the total amount as of today, as of yesterday, Thursday, as of yesterday is going to be $1,672. That is the total there. All right, so I had a total budgeted going into investments and savings at, can y'all see that? At $597, and I did put in $597 as budgeted. All right, so expenses was $522.58. 522, was it 58? Yeah, 58. Debt was $425 as budgeted. Cash envelopes, I was over at $512.46. Sinking funds, $150. And then investments and other savings, $597. So that brought our actual to $522.58 plus $425 for debt, $512.46 for cash envelopes, $150 for sinking funds, and then $597 for investments and other savings. Okay, so that actually put me at a total of $2,207.04, which means I was over budget by, $22.46. That's not too bad. I mean, I would really rather not be over at all, but I mean, $22. I mean, that wasn't too bad. And I think what actually saved me was, was I was under budget for MLG&W. Why can't I think of that? I was under budget for MLG, so that's what kind of really saved me a little bit there. So let me go ahead and calculate how much I actually had left over from this paycheck budget. Okay, so online income. What I actually brought in for online income. Sorry, I'm looking for my little sheet. I keep mountains of papers on this desk. You don't see it because you just see this enclosed space right here, but on this other side of the desk, it's a lot of stuff over here. Okay, my total for online income was actually $366.92. That is what I brought in, and that's going to be after I took taxes away. I just took out a straight dollar amount for taxes. I did a 22% tax rate, and I just rounded it up to the whole dollar amount. So that is what we had for online income. So our total income brought in for this paycheck, $2145.77 for my full-time job, plus $366.92 for online income. That means I brought in a total of $2,512.69, which was actually a plus of $216. Why am I messing up like this today? That was a plus of $216.92. Yes. Okay. So that actually means the total amount I brought in was $2,512.69, and I actually spent $2,207.04. That left me with $305.65, and that will actually just be transferred over to my ER fund. Let me circle that. There we go. All right, so that is paycheck budget 1. I think we did pretty good, other than the fact that I went over budget in a couple situations here, which I'm actually working on. Excuse my little thumb. It's like I said, I injured myself. I normally have a Band-Aid on it, but I'm trying to let it breathe. So let's move on to paycheck budget number 2, which this paycheck is going to be for May 28th. I have already grouped in my income amounts. My full-time job, we are budgeted at $2,171.62. That is the actual amount because I'm salaried, and then today is Friday payday, so I've actually already gotten paid. Online income, I'm budgeting at $150. My part-time job, which falls into this paycheck budget, I think I will be paid on like the 8th or something. I think it's like the 8th. And that's going to be budgeted at $600. I actually already know how much the paycheck is because we know at least a good week or whatever in advance how much it is. Week, 2 weeks, something like that. And plus, I mean, I set my own hours, so I'm able to pretty much calculate it. And the fact that they don't take out any taxes, they don't take out anything. So I'm able to always keep an accurate account of what my paycheck is going to be. So my paycheck is actually going to be, I think, like $700, like almost $800, but I'm taking out money for taxes because I have to pay my own taxes. They do not take out for taxes. So part-time income, after I take out the taxes, I will be pocketing $600 from my part-time job. So let's go ahead and calculate up the budgeted amount for income. Full-time job, $2,171.62 plus $150 for online income, plus $600 for our part-time job. So that is going to be a total of $2,921.62. All right, so moving forth to our expenses. What we have here is sorry, y'all, I'm thinking. What we have for expenses, we have $529 and then $529. Okay, 29th and 29th, we have 2 auto pays that will be coming out. One is Netflix. Then we have Hulu. Our budgeted amount for Netflix is $19.70. Hulu is going to be $13.13. And then sorry, I had a moment. Okay, so next for expenses, I actually won't have any more expenses until June, but because this paycheck is going to have to cover me all the way to June 11th, we will get into June here. But so it's going to be 6 actually, June 6th. We have another auto pay, which is going to be the gym, and that is a total of $44.99. Next, we have on 6/7, we have another auto pay, which is Xfinity, coming in hot at $68.85. Then also on 6/7, we have another auto pay, which is Trupanion, and that one's going to be running us at $45.68. And that is actually it for expenses. Rather light. $19.70 for Netflix, plus $13.13 for Hulu, plus $44.99 for gym, plus $68.85 for Xfinity, plus $45.68 for Trupanion. That's going to be expenses coming in at $192.35. All right, debt payments, we have $528. We have our legal fees, half of the legal fees payment exactly, and it's going to be $200. And then we have Regional 1, which is a medical debt that is coming in at $25. Then I have my Citibank, which is the minimum payment. I actually make lump sum payments when I get my part-time paycheck. So actually what's actually due on the 28th, which is today, is just my minimum payment, which is $62. And is that it for debt? Is that it for debt? No. We have coming out on 5/28 as well is half of my car note at $200. And that's it for debt payment. So we have $200 for legal fees, plus $25 for Regional 1, $62 for Citibank, and then $200 for half of my car note. So that is going to be a total of $487. All right, flipping them. Gas, pet, food, groceries, home, and personal. All right, gas, we're going to be budgeted at $80. Pets, we are budgeting at $90 as usual. Food and groceries, I keep getting confused because I keep changing it all the time. $225. No, $220. I'm staying in budget this time, y'all. I got a plan for that. I mean, ooh, I could. I got a plan for groceries. I sure do. Home is gonna be $25. Personal, $25. All right, that brings us to our grand total for cash envelopes at $440. Sinking funds, we have home, car, vacations. Home, we are budgeting to put towards $100. Car, we're budgeting $10. And then vacations, we're budgeting $40 for a total of $150. All right, investments and other savings, stash, we are budgeted at $60. I'm sorry, I'm abbreviating. Savings challenge number 1, and then savings challenge number 2. I'll be right back. Sorry, I need to take a brief interlude. Savings challenge number 1 is going to be $173 budgeted, and that is my $1 monthly savings challenge. Savings challenge number 2, which is the weekly amount that I save, that is going to be budgeted at $150. Okay, so that's going to give us a grand total for investments and other savings, 60 plus 70, 173 plus 150. That's going to be a budgeted total for this section. Y'all can't see what I'm doing. That's going to be a budgeted total of $383 for investments and other savings. Okay, let's go ahead and do my remainings. $383 for investments and other savings. Sinking funds, we are always coming in at $150. Cash envelopes, $440. Debt is $487. And then expenses are going to be $192.35. $192.35. $192.35 plus $487 plus $440 plus $150 plus $383. So that's going to be a grand total of $1,652.35. That is what my budgeted outgoing is going to be for this paycheck. Definitely a significant difference from last paycheck, but as I've always said, my last paycheck of the month is always my heaviest. No, my last paycheck of the month is my lightest. My first paycheck of the month is the heaviest. I guess because I have more bills due then. I don't know. I've never really sat down and had time to analyze and figure it out. But any rate, so this is what we are looking like for that. And then as far as what we are budgeted to have left over, we are budgeted to have left over 2921.62. We are budgeted to have left over, I'm going to put budgeted right here in parentheses. I'm budgeted to have left over $1,269.27, which 600 of that will be going directly to my Citibank card, which is my last credit card standing. So yeah, 600 of that, which is the equivalent of my part-time paycheck, will be going directly to my Citibank card, which would leave me with somewhere around $600 left over overall. So we shall see. I'm gonna try and stay in budget this time, y'all. All right, so if you enjoyed this video, definitely give me a thumbs up. Make sure to hit that like button. You actually hit the like button for the thumbs up. Dang, Raven. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you can subscribe to my channel and not miss any more videos. Thanks, guys. Peace.